write this book because during my journey, there were times when I felt so alone. I had a loving family and a very loving, supportive husband, but it's still, you need people that are going through the same thing just to feel a connection, just to feel that you're not isolated in your own world with everything that that entails. You just need somebody to reach out or to feel that there's a presence out there of someone that's going through the same thing so that you're not alone. My family and my husband have been incredibly supportive. So for the appointments, he would go with me. They would always check in phone. How did the appointment go? So it was lots of support and framework around me. And obviously, because we'd had such an extensive journey, the specialists that we were seeing were our friends. So it wasn't that we were, um, not supported by them either. But it's still, as a woman, it's still it feels like a very lonely journey. A lot of it is felt on the inside. So even though you have that framework and that structure of love and support, there is still a gap um, where you need to connect with like-minded people going through the same thing. It's a very good question. I don't think you're ever going to balance it completely between all the different appointments, trying to keep your marriage together, waiting for results, having blood taken, going from the doctor to the pathway to the, and then you're on a whole bunch of meds and you're trying to keep your friends and work. I mean, there's so many deadlines, there's so many, yeah, your diary, you just literally are going, going, going. And every now and again, you take a breath of fresh air. So to try and balance your emotions is not an easy thing. And I think women put so much pressure on themselves to be okay, to not feel that they are, um, you know, not balanced. So I think the emotional roller coaster, you can't get away from it. It is part and parcel of the fertility process, unfortunately. And I think just it's so important to just be good to yourself and know that it's not always going to be easy and you're not always going to get it right. That's just how it is, and that is part of the process. And it's okay. Some days you'll nosedive, and it's okay. If I had a really bad time and emotionally very low, I would say to myself, Kath, 3 days, and you put your big girl panties on. Never was it more than 3 days that I would allow myself to wallow, and that seemed to help me. If I could just get up, shower, um, put some makeup on, and leave the front door, even if it was for a walk or whatever it was. Then you get back into the world again. So don't put that pressure on yourself. The emotional roller coaster, it's part and parcel of the journey. Oh, there are so many stigmas in society and stigmas that we place on ourselves. I mean, personally, why is my body not having a baby? Why am I not falling pregnant? When I do fall pregnant, why am I having a miscarriage? Why is my body doing this to me? Then society puts a lot of pressure. You're a woman and you need to be productive. You need to keep everyone together, everything together. We want to be seen as strong, but yet it's the woman that has to go through this, not the man. So in the workplace, it's all about productivity. They don't want to know that you're feeling down or that you're feeling upset or that you've just had a blood result and you're not pregnant and you have to start the IVF process from scratch. And you've just wasted a whole lot of money and just everyone that's involved. It's like a Charlotte's Web. So I think the stigma is also very much around, it's a taboo subject. People don't feel comfortable to talk about it because it involves private bits and it involves, sort of the sexual side of things. So it's not a lot of people just find that it's not comfortable. And also there's so many steps involved in each round that I found a lot of my friends and family would lose track of what's next, where I am in the cycle. And then, if it doesn't work, then you have to repeat everything again. So it's just a very uncomfortable. People aren't educated enough. They don't know how to ask you the questions. They don't know what to ask you. And so they just tend to, what's it, moosh over. So you also, in that feel very isolated and alone. But I think it's, yeah, there's this dark veil that seems to um, hang over infertility as a whole. And I think that's so important that well, that's what my book's doing. It's trying to face that head on and say, I'll share my whole experience with you, um, so that you know what it's about. And in my book, I say, please, these are the things that are really not useful. Don't say things like, oh, just relax. It will happen naturally. I can't, because my husband had a vasectomy. Um, just relax. Okay, yes. So I had 3 jabs in my tummy this morning. I'm going to have it again tomorrow. Going for blood tests. Then this afternoon, I'm going to have somebody in my private parts having a look to see the size of the eggs. The growth. I mean, it's just all, yeah. It's very, very very dark, and I just, it's not right. Women, especially when they're so vulnerable, need support. They need to be heard, understood, and felt, because otherwise you just withdraw into yourself. And some women, marriages are impacted hugely by this. The divorces are very high. I mean, if you think in South Africa, 1 in 4 couples struggle with infertility. It's a very real thing that's out there. So why there is a stigma is just, it's not right. And we need to break this. We need to break this. We need to be supportive. We need to understand what people are going through and not just sort of shove it under the carpet. Okay, so often when you with your fertility specialists, they're very busy. So they literally are appointment back to back. You have to book well in advance. So it's not like you can ask somebody something. Did somebody have this kind of reaction to these tablets? You can phone, speak to the receptionist, and then hopefully wait to get an answer. But I mean, that's not a priority for them, when they're busy with doing all the wonder work that they are doing. So you need a platform where you have people that are going through the same thing, so that you can say, oh, today I'm so excited, I'm going to implant, or I got a negative result and I don't know how to tell my family, or because this is the 10th time or whatever. It's just a platform where you can share what you're going through with people that are going through the same thing, or you could share experiences, or you can ask advice. So it's been a very useful tool to combat that loneliness of the journey and to connect. So found the Facebook group. They're very active on that. It's IVF support, IVF and surrogacy support. That because it's a group, people feel comfortable to talk openly and honestly, because it's a confidential environment. The Facebook page itself doesn't, that's more kind of the articles that I've written. I can post it there, but it's really the group. It's that live environment that's a protected, shielded from sharing intimacies and people that you don't want hearing about it or knowing. So I think that's been very, very useful. And as I say, it's a very busy, busy page. And then I started also an Instagram for Abundantly Empty for the book. And so I just need to gain more traction on that as the book starts to, it's just been launched now. So.